Beyond the wealthiest families, there exists a deeper level of power, secret societies that operate behind the scenes, often dismissed as conspiracy theories, but with undeniable connections to real-world events. The Freemasons, one of the oldest and most well-known societies, claim to be a fraternity of mutual support, yet many of the most powerful figures in history have been high-ranking members. Their symbols appear on national monuments, currency, and architecture, hinting at an influence greater than is publicly admitted. The Skull and Bones Society, an elite fraternity at Yale University, has produced U.S. presidents, intelligence operatives, and corporate leaders. Those who join are initiated into rituals that bind them together in secrecy, forming lifelong alliances that span politics, finance, and military leadership. The Bilderberg Group, an annual gathering of the world's most powerful individuals from government, finance, and industry, meets in secret to discuss global strategy. The topics of discussion are never publicly disclosed, and no official records are kept, yet decisions made within these meetings shape international policies. Through these networks, decisions affecting the fate of nations are made not by public officials, but by a select few, hidden from scrutiny and beyond the reach of democratic processes. The business of war. Profiting from bloodshed. Wars are not fought for freedom or security. They are orchestrated for profit. Every major conflict of the last century, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Iraq, has been fueled by the interests of defense contractors, bankers, and energy companies. During World War II, corporations such as IBM, Standard Oil, and Ford provided resources to both Allied and Axis forces, ensuring profits regardless of the outcome. The Vietnam War was prolonged not for military necessity, but because companies like Dow Chemical, producer of napalm, and Bell Helicopter had billions at stake. The Gulf War and subsequent invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan secured control over oil fields, with defense contractors like Halliburton and Blackwater making unprecedented profits. The War on Terror became a pretext for global surveillance, military expansion, and resource control, creating an endless cycle of conflict that benefits only those who manufacture weapons and finance reconstruction efforts. At the core of these wars is a simple truth: war is business, and those who profit from it have no interest in peace. Experiments on humanity. The hidden agenda of medicine and science. The ruling elite have long viewed ordinary people not as citizens, but as test subjects. History is filled with examples of unethical medical experiments carried out under the guise of progress and public health. The Tuskegee syphilis study allowed African American men to suffer untreated syphilis for decades while doctors observed the disease's progression. The MK-Ultra program, run by the CIA, conducted mind control experiments on unwitting subjects using drugs, psychological torture, and electroshock therapy. Today, Big Pharma continues this legacy of exploitation. The opioid crisis, fueled by companies like Purdue Pharma, was not an accident. It was a carefully planned operation that addicted millions to prescription painkillers for profit. Vaccines and pharmaceuticals, often developed with little transparency, are mandated under government policies that serve corporate interests. Population control theories, once dismissed as fiction, gain credibility when considering eugenics programs promoted by figures like the Rockefellers. The question arises: are modern medical policies truly about public health, or are they a continuation of a long-standing agenda to regulate population growth and maintain control? The weaponization of fear. How media shapes reality control is most effective when the controlled do not realize they are being manipulated. In today's world, the most powerful weapon is not a gun or a missile. It is information. The mainstream media, owned by a handful of corporations, dictates what people believe by deciding what is reported and what is omitted. News channels across different networks repeat identical scripts, designed to keep the public in a constant state of fear. Fear of terrorism, fear of economic collapse, fear of disease. Hollywood plays its role, reinforcing narratives that glorify war, demonize enemies, and normalize surveillance. Social media platforms, once seen as tools for free speech, now serve as mechanisms for censorship. Algorithms decide what information is seen, and dissenting voices are systematically silenced under the guise of misinformation. The reality is clear. The news is not designed to inform. It is designed to control. Despite the overwhelming power of these forces, history has shown that truth can prevail when people refuse to accept deception. The first step is awareness, understanding how the system operates and recognizing the manipulation. Individuals must take control of their information sources, seeking out independent journalism and verifying facts rather than accepting narratives pushed by corporate media. Supporting whistleblowers, questioning authority, and engaging in discussions outside of controlled platforms can disrupt the cycle of misinformation. Economically, reliance on centralized banking systems can be reduced by exploring decentralized currencies, local economies, and self-sufficient communities. Politically, demanding transparency, resisting unjust laws, and holding leaders accountable are critical. The more people who awaken to the reality of the hidden power structure, the harder it becomes for those in control to maintain their grip. The world we live in is not shaped by random events, but by carefully orchestrated strategies designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. Wars, economic collapses, pandemics, and political conflicts are tools of control used to keep populations divided, fearful, and submissive. Yet, the truth cannot be silenced forever. As history has shown, even the most well-hidden secrets eventually come to light. The challenge lies in whether people are willing to see, to question, and to resist. The battle is not between nations, races, or ideologies. It is between those who seek to control and those who seek to be free. The choice is ours to make. Will we remain blind to the forces that shape our world, or will we open our eyes and reclaim the power that has been stolen from us?